Morning, sir.
Okay, my apologies for a little delay and thank you for joining in so early. It's a winter morning, so hopefully it'll be nice and cold in your neck of the woods. So today is the final class in a way for me. So I really wanted to thank you rather than at the end for all your attention, your, being with this journey. Shadab, you have raised your hand.
Good morning, sir. I just want to ask, like, why you are going, sir?
No, it's actually, like Bumrah bowls and then the other way, it must be Muhammad Shami. So I'll have to give way to the next 5 classes to another lady. So she'll be a better tutor or, a very distinguished tutor. So that is the plan, that half of the innings I take and then she takes. But thank you, Shadab, for asking.
Welcome.
Okay, let me get ahead. So we had done a lot of things earlier, like what is ID, foundations of instructional design, then what is the motivation of learners, that he or she finds a learning path. So we tried to connect the learning aspiration of a learner by using Maslow's law and the other models that we used. The second class was largely about the frameworks that we use. And the last day we had said about ADDIE, SAM, and Agile. Okay, so just a little revision. Just brush up your books. And today is on Gagne. Okay, or they say Gane. I am not a French person, so I can't pronounce it the French way. But if you go to Paris, okay, or Paris, then possibly somebody will tell you how. And many things, So today is Gagne's 9th step or GAN's 9th step. And then we go into training needs analysis. Now that might be an inter alia area with somebody else because TNA must be covered. By this time, Shadab, has it been covered, training needs analysis?
Yes,
Yes, it is.
covered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, it has been covered. I'm sorry, my mic was not working. I was trying my
Well,
best.
that's okay. Thank you. I just wanted to know. So maybe a little repeat. So I'll stress on the Gagne's 9 method. That might be more of a value add. Thank you, Shreyash. I'm going nowhere. I'll be here. And whenever there's a doubt, we will be together. So it's not that it's the final, bye-bye, goodbye. Okay. Not that way. It's just a temporary, the course has been planned. One is that there's a variation, if you find a second voice, which is a lady, maybe it is sometimes better. And change is always the best thing to happen. So let me look at, this is on learning audience analysis. How can we make, learning so much more enjoyable? And the instructional designer has a role to play here. So let me just go through a little slide deck and then we'll open it up and ending with the final quiz, which you always do so well. Okay, can you see the screen? Manaswini?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
good. So this is on the learning audience analysis, that there's always an audience. As I said, the audience could be very well read. Audience could be basic. Like the other day, I went for a training at electro steel casting. Okay, it's a place called Khorda, just around 40 kilometers from Calcutta. So they're very good brains. They're good workers, deep-seated since the Raj in Bengal. But then they're slightly closed. So sometimes you'll meet a close, and especially in the production factory, where behavioral or communication thing is not the main thing, they might act a little dumb. But once you can break the nut, they'll be easy with you. So many a times, like in a service industry, in a hotel or in hospitality, people are much more, what would I say, much more thin. Like, and in production, they'll be thick. Like there's a water, still waters run deep. So if you can crack a, manufacturing plant, like they make ductile wire rods. So the first 15 minutes I had to understand I didn't have a chance to understand them before. So maybe a good idea for all of us to do a pre-call or a focus group analysis before you go to the training, whether it's online or offline. Because the way they speak, the language they speak, you can make out a lot of hints. And you don't have to spend time there when you are up for a training. Then they say, okay, we never heard of this, or can you be a bit louder? So these are small signals that it is not going well. Okay, if they raise a little objection, and there'll be some people who are elderly, there'll be some people who are young, somebody would want to learn fast, some people would want to learn a little slow paced. Yes, Sonali.
So just one query I have.
Yes.
You mentioned that we need to talk to the group and all. So is it not that in the TNA we already asked the client that the demography of the group, if we don't get a chance to interact with them online or offline prior to the session?
Correct. In the TNA, you will get a fair idea, but unless you have spoken to them in an FGD, like with the Larsen and Toubro I did, they're all very technical people. And it was on decision making and analysis. They wanted critical thinking. So I had to talk about, the Ishikawa diagram, the, all the financial analysis that you do. It was tough for me, but they understand that language. And also one thing might help is if you do a profiling of the audience. Because if it's a gyan, I mean, I give you a lot of, stuff. But if you don't find your learning style or what is in it for you, for example, in Calcutta Electric Supply, I did a program on creativity and innovation, pretty much similar to other programs. So you tell them about creativity, that creativity is innate, innovation is monetizable. So if you make a patent, you get a prize. So innovation, like in IBM, they used to say innovation that matters. Maybe I'm a very creative person, but I do something which has no monetary value for the world, but it's very creative. So in a company, they'll want innovation that matters. So I had to say, to get them up to that point, then I had to do a discovery quotient. That how far you are a Christopher Columbus, how far you are an order taker. So like Christopher Columbus or Marco Polo, they discovered a continent. So do you have your discovery with you? That is when they came alive. Well, sir, I got low in discovery, but I'm very good at deploying. So if somebody says that, look, this is a new electric vehicle, or in CSC, let's say, we are going for green power. So this is a new idea. Can you do it? Many of us are good order takers. We'll do very good job as manager. But our imagination and creativity is very less. So that is why a profiling may be necessary. Okay. I mean, answering you in a very long way, Sonali, but maybe it helps a little bit if you have a call before. If there is no call and if you're sufficiently, experienced, then you have to go cold and may God be with you. You will spend some time in that warming up because first half an hour, they'll start judging you. So a little bit of audience analysis helps. And yes, I agree with you that a lot has been done in TNA, but TNA is on paper. Unless you've seen the guys on the floor in the training hall, you don't really know. For example, yesterday there were two, the other day on Friday, 2 ladies and 29 males. So, the males sort of dominated till I made a message that, okay, let them also speak. So one was an engineer. She started saying that I'm the first lady engineer in this company. So then I had to, that she had to prove herself that what is she. Then slowly at the end of the day, it was good. Okay, let us get ahead and we'll take questions. Otherwise, we'll be late. And I also delayed a little bit by coming in late. So today's learning outcome is 9 events of instruction. Okay. The next is just a minute. Yeah. No, it's always important to understand because I saw CSC is different from electro steel casting is different from Larsen and Toubro. Larsen and Toubro was very Indian. It was all over India. It was an online course, whereas these two were local. they mostly understand Bangla, some of them Hindi. If you speak to hi-fi English like Shashi Tharoor, they'll back off. So you know which videos to play, but it always is a different experience every time. So Gagne's 9 event is today the main. The other thing, I'll be low because you already did it through some other faculty. Why do we do the training needs? For an individual, for a business unit, for an organization. I'll come to that benefits of TNA. Good. So this is the one you would like to know. Gagne's 9. It says that first thing you do is gaining attention. So it says, how do you customize? It's very here and now. There's a pro and con of Gagne. Just like there's a pro and con of, what was the one we learned? Sam and Agile and, Addy. So everything will have a good part. Everything will have a, not so good part. So what is, when you say that not so good part, what is it? What is it that you say? There's something that I taught them. Well, can you tell me the positive parts of it? Now, what is the opposite of positive in a training hall?
Negative.
Improvements.
Improvement.
Correctional. Can you give me some correctional measures?
Correctional.
Okay, it's like a Sansodhanagar, like a jail.
Constructive feedback.
Constructive. You got it. You got it. So I have to say that what is. So everything has a constructive part. Everything will have a positive part. So whenever you are giving feedback to a person, say that I liked, Sonali, I liked your question and may I also. So don't say but. These are 2 or 3 things I learned from IBM. If you have to, like your appraisal. Oh, Rahul, you have been a great worker. You're all over the place. You've been a great resource. Now I'm waiting like an Indian. He's waiting. When will he say that where I was bad? So he'll say that, Europeans, Americans, they always say, well, I think your reports were fantastic and they were on time. You had a global presence. You were culturally sensitive. And now he'll say, from where did I become a Prem Chopra? Till the first part, he'll say where I was Bharat Bhushan. Or let's say Sanjeev Kumar. I was a good guy. Or a Rajesh Khanna. Next part, he'll say where I was bad. So he'll say, well, I like this. And I like this. And a little bit of time management maybe from your part, so you don't have to work so late. So I know time management ka training I'll have to take. Okay, so practice this. Practice and not but. Okay. All these are not necessary, but I thought that, you're such a JIV class. Next is you gain attention. How do you gain? We'll play a video. Inform learners of the objective that this is where we are going to train. This is Gagne's method. You could do it differently. But I think that it's got a merit, stimulating recall that, okay, this is not the first time you're hearing about this. So I'll give an example of a safety training, which we have right now. Then we'll have eliciting performance. So after you have given your, Gyan or your PPT, you'll ask, okay, now can you tell me, would you consider telling, don't say, can you tell me, it looks like an order. Okay, may I consider that you respond to these questions? Provide them a little guiding learners because they'll make a little mistake. Presenting the stimulus. Okay, this should have been 6. 7 is after one group, let's say Manaswini, Shadab or Anuradha or the whole class. Okay, so many of you. Ravi, you did very well. I must say that you did well. And if you didn't do too well, I'll say, well, I think the opening was fantastic. And may I also add that in the middle, somewhere you could have come in stronger. So give them feedback. Don't say, earlier when I was new, I used to have a bad habit. I used to say everybody, "Arey, bahut acha. Very good, very good, very good." Till one American told me, hey Rahul, if it's not very good, you're not obliged to say very good. Just call the spade a spade. And I liked it because that is the way people learn. Whereas I was typically Indian mentality, you have to say good to everybody because they participated. Yes. Everybody gets an attendance prize. But then there's a difference between a good student and a bad student. So differentiate. That was something I learned from the Western world. You need not be good. You can just be real, Rahul. So all these things I share with you so that you can share it with your juniors or people who look up to you. Finally, provide them feedback, assess a performance, do an MCQ like we do every night, every morning. Okay, my days and nights become Critical acclaim. Shweta, very good. Critical acclaim. Shweta is very well read. That was a good word. I should have used this. Critical acclaim. So this is Gagney's 9th step. We will start with, so benefits of Gagney, clear. Hard engage. One more time because I interrupted a little bit. So first, gain attention. You can do it by whatever cameo you want to do. State the objective of this learning module. Say that this is not the first time you had learned. What is it that you bring to the world before I came in? Eliciting performance. Get a little bit of them to speak, give them a little learning guidance, and then give them a stimulus, then start provide feedback. Okay, and get it all back. So like today it's come to India. Earlier on, it used to be one-way traffic. Today there's a training. Oh, this man will bore us to death. Because there was no interactivity, there was no, and even if it was banal, they'll tell you to jump or do certain funny things which you don't want to. Because, many people have backaches, many people have handache. So this I have learned, don't make people move out from their seats or give them something cerebral. Yes, some people are physical. So maybe balance a little bit when you give an activity, give them a feedback that you came strong as a team, critical acclaim, as Shweta says, assess their performance and pass on from there. So I'm giving a training, let's say Gagne, I'm practicing Gagne now, I'm doing online and this is how it will go. And you can always do better than me. So let's practice 9 steps. So we watch this video clip. If it doesn't play at your end, just tell me that it's not sounding.
No audio, sir.
No audio?
It's
Audio
audible.
is
We are
No,
getting.
it's perfect.
We are getting audio.
We are getting
We
audio.
can listen.
Audible.
Clear audio.
Clear audio. Just one more time.
So there's just some background noise in the video. Is that what it is? Then
Yeah,
that's what we're hearing. Yeah.
It's machine's voice actually.
I'm just playing it one more time. Okay. So let me stop sharing. What is the sense that you have?
One person was in between, if I could see.
Yes.
Safety
he
of the
was not-
person. They're talking about the safety of a person.
Correct. So start with a video. You got the message and it was a ghastly accident. Okay, I didn't put it beyond because then it shows he's getting crushed. I took it from YouTube yesterday evening. There could have been better videos, but the point is he got tangled in that compactor machine. So it was a wire rod. Like if you go to a bar and rod mill in Tisco or anywhere, okay, they'll make rods. So first they make iron, then they make steel. Then that steel is either ductile or malleable. Ductile is that you pull it into wires, malleable is you paste it into sheets. And then it comes. You can make it pins, from a pin to a rolled bar like we see in bridges. Okay, all the girders and also this guy, he must have been part of the finishing mills. So he was trying to, but he got caught inside that and possibly that they couldn't stop them, and it was a fatal accident. So I wanted this reaction in you so that it evokes a sense of anguish. And hey, what will happen to this man? Okay, that is what you thought. And that noise was a siren which was going at the background. So what does Gagne say? It says that start with something like this so that it highlights the importance of safety. Now, once people are sensitive, learning objectives, identify workplace hazard. So you say workplace hazard is always there. So you must be wearing a helmet, etc. So say something which is very important. Apply the correct safety procedures, report unsafe conditions properly, and use protective equipment currently. So here, possibly it was a different case. I mean, he could not have done much, but maybe it was, like if you look at the, that Ahmedabad flight crash, at the end, nobody knows what happened. So it's always, if it's a fatal case, if it's the guy's life is saved, then you can have you can have the learning objectives. Okay, for example, there could be videos that something fell on a guy's head, but he was wearing a helmet. Or any bike that we ride, people are thrown off because, we try to weave in between vehicles and one vehicle knocks you. So just the other day in Salt Lake, there's a place I was coming. So one couple, they fell on the road. Luckily, they didn't get hurt very badly, but falling is not good. Then there was a big altercation with the gari and the scooter. But anyway, so what is the workplace that they had a helmet on, so they were saved. Apply, report. Now we go to the next part of Gagne. Now, have you ever witnessed a workplace accident? What safety rules do you allow always on the job? Here I'll stop for a little reaction. I'm doing Gagne live. Let's say it's a safety. Many of you are into factories or into service. So anything that you follow, this is not the first time you have seen a impending accident or something which happened.
A sensor to stop the machine.
A sensor to stop the machine, that is typically what you saw in the video. But let's say if I was to say that, okay, Dhanlakshmi, what are the safety procedures that you have seen in your life? Or why is safety important? I'm stimulating prior recall. Just look at Gagne's third step. First is attract attention by a video which is slightly, like Big Boss or something, which will grab people's eyeball. Next, you state the learning objectives. Then you say, yes, Shweta.
So we regularly have fire drills at work.
Very good. Shweta is the evolved one. We regularly have fire drills. We go to the assembly point and then the drill comes and then they'll give us and we can't go back. So many a times I remember in IBM there was a call going on. Oh, I have to drop now. There's a say, wah, 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 wah. Oh, everybody go down the stairs. So much fun. And once in Manila, there was a program we are having, 17th floor. And there was in Manila, it's very, very normal to have a earthquake. So somebody said, oh, I saw the chandelier, going like this. So, and I was seeing that it was, the whole building is swinging like an elastic. Then I thought, this is my last hour. I must say goodbye to my, the wife who's in Calcutta, to my children who are there. Then somebody said, oh, don't panic, Rahul, this happens every time. Just go down the stair. So 17 floors go down the stair is not fun. Okay, your knees ache, then you go into the road. Mock safety drill. Absolutely. Shaktivel. Okay. So we know from background that this will happen. And then after a while, they give again a signal that you are safe to get in. But then your fun is lost. Do you feel the same after the accident? Does it remain the same? It doesn't remain the same. After the fire drill, your attention is diverted. Think of a host of other things. So he said stimulate recall. Okay. So let's say we are doing a straight safe. What safety rules do you usually follow? So somebody will say there'll be a fire drill. Somebody will say that we have a helmet. Somebody will say that we have a PPE. Doctors will say. So okay, accent is super. So Manila, they say, can you focus? So first I didn't, then I understood, okay, he's saying me to focus. So Rahu, and they don't say the L. Can you focus on the job? So focus, okay. So then I saw, what safety. So safety rules are very, very stringent. Sometimes safety rules are very relaxed and then people have accidents. They take things as granted. Sonali.
So recently I did a training for the steel, one of the leading steel companies, and their core value is safety first. So in that, apart from their normal drills and SOPs, what they follow, they also have something called as 3-point contact. That is, while climbing up or down the stair, they're compulsorily they have to hold the railing and climb or get down. That's the rule they have. So
you have to hold the railing and get down.
I mean, while climbing or getting down the stairs, that rule they have made to 3-point contact is your both legs and one hand on the railing to climb. I mean, they follow that for the
3-point contact. Something I learned. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. So nice of you that I learned from Sonali 3-point contact. This I didn't know. I only knew people who used to hurdle. chalo, 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 chalo. They, get down the stairs, and then they give you a gear, and then they have a safety, fire cylinder, they break it, so say all the things. But it's so nice that you went to a steel plant, so they'll have, everyone. So this is your stimulating your experience, like Sonali did when she went to a steel plant. What safety rules do you follow? So people will say something, a decision will happen. Now, here is the next part. It says, okay, here is your content. Now you throw slides at them. So you present the content. Okay, present, sorry, the spelling is wrong. Types of hazards. So you say that, what are the types of hazards that could happen. So there will be many safety people. Okay, they'll say that electrical safety, electrical is the most difficult. Physical is okay, you can douse by water. Chemical again is difficult. Ergonomic safety, etc. Workplace accident causes, like the Titanic. Why did it sink? Because they never saw the iceberg. Why did they not see the iceberg? Because the lens was bad. Why was the lens not checked? Because if you do a 5Y, you can find out. So they, because they wanted to be the proudest ship in the world, Titanic went ahead and they hit the iceberg in 1913. And all of us have seen Kate Winslet and Leo DiCaprio. Okay. So that was one, it was a sorry thing. But in IBM, they gave us a prize. Once I did a good job, they said, Rahul, you and your wife go and see Titanic. So that to me is the best prize I got ever in IBM. Okay, safety processes, do and don't. So you will say that go by the 3 point, have a railing with you, always wear a PPE, have a helmet inside the plant. PPE usage is said, reporting. Or if there's an incident, how do you report? So do you shout, nobody will hear you? So what is the pager or, WhatsApp or whatever it is, emergency actions. So many a times if it's hot, then phones don't work. So you give them whole lot of gyan. This is where you present. Now, provide a learning guidance. Now, once you have said it, then Gagne says that, okay, you have now walk the talk. So immediately put on a PPE, walk through so maybe show them a simulation, share a decision, also use mnemonic. Can somebody tell me what's a mnemonic? It's given here, but yet I ask.
So Vibgyor is, I think, Vibgyor, the one that we use, the colors of the rainbow.
Colors of the rainbow.
So Vibgyor that we use is the mnemonics, I guess.
For example, you are saying what are the leadership qualities, the big five of Myers and Briggs. So people can't remember. Okay, so I always tell this.
Sir, last slide, please.
Sorry?
Sir, last slide. Actually, I missed the last slide.
I'm coming from the. So I have said ocean. I'm giving the last slide. So one was mnemonic. This was the slide. Mnemonic, as Shweta said. Sorry.
Letter of each word is created into kind of a new word, so it is easier to remember.
Absolutely. For example, here it's stop, think, observe, proceed. So I'd given one called ocean. Okay, if you want, thank you, Ashna. Good to see you back. Good with an answer. Always intelligent as ever. Okay, so like you have ocean. So if you want to be a leader, you have 5 big qualities. What is ocean? O for openness, C for conscientiousness, E for extroversion, A for agreeableness, N for neuroticism. Or news. Shalam, can you tell what news is?
North, east, west, south.
Northeast, west, south.
West, south. Okay, so we use a mnemonic so that we remember. T. Sonali, what is T?
Thoughts, emotions, and action.
Thoughts, emotions. You are a cerebral person. I couldn't be as cerebral as you. My life is over. I envy you. Star. Ravigar, what is star?
Situation, task, action, and result.
So you all know. Thank you, Ravi. That was very industrial. Shadab says we follow last. Okay, like I remember one acronym, but it'll come to me. Okay, but you have said very good things. So you understand what? Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. In our industry, in food industry, we use this acronym known as LAST. That means listen to the guest, apologize, and then satisfy and thanks. That's when a customer complains or when a guest complains.
Excellent. Or sometimes we say kiss. Let me give you a, keep it simple, stupid. So a lot of clap for all of you. You gave it good. So many things like ASAP. Once upon a time, that was also an acronym. Long back in '93, one of my Tata bosses said, "Rahul, either you shape up or ship out." So he was a on the razor type of boss. Either you perform or perish. I didn't know the meaning of ASAP. Do it ASAP. Then I understood that it is as early as possible. One day I was not IBM, I was a DC Hindustani guy. So those were 93 days. Now the world is your oyster. Okay, but very good. All of you know what is the mnemonic, so I'm not laboring on it. So maybe give something that people remember. Okay, that they'll remember for life. Hazard. Okay, this is the next part of Gagne where he says practice. So in a training program, if it's a on the job, if it's a management program, then give them an activity, spotting activity pictures or real workplace group task. So how will you mitigate? Let's say there's a fire or there's a chemical emergency like the Bhopal gas strategy, 1984, when I just joined. Okay, BHL, there was a great, and the Americans were clever. They fought the case in India, which was dirt cheap. Had it been in the US, they would have spent a bomb. Try wearing PPE correctly. So many people can't wear a PPE correctly. So, give them a little practice reporting an incident using a form. Okay. So if there's an accident, how will you report? So these are small little tasks that you do, which will remain emblazoned with them. Next steps, give them a little feedback that, okay, you did very well. Maybe you could have done it a little differently. I like this. And may I also consider? So give a little, polite feedback. Then do a straight assess performance MCQ. Now, what will you do? Gagne says the last step is that don't leave them cold. So after a training program, what really happens is we take a feedback for a freelancer. If he gets a repeat order, means his training was good, his or her. Now always have a retention plan or a post-course survey mail. After you are done, send a mail. Thank you for your time. These are additional links that you may want to consider going ahead. So that is very much value. That this guy is not he just gets paid and he's off. So provide a safety checklist, post reminders near workstation, create a safety. So this is more of an internal training. Point here is Gagne said this is the last step. Don't leave them. So let me go back to Gagne and let me see the steps whether you covered it. Okay, so Gagne says gain attention, which we did. We informed of the objective, which you stated. Recall, you stated that yes, we did a fire drill. Get a little performance, which we couldn't do in this small class, but in a way we did. Provide them some learning guidance. Ravi gave good points. Ashna gave good points. Present a stimulus, give a situation that what will you do in this case? Once they have done, give them feedback that was not the correct way to wear a PPE. This could have been done differently, assess their performance, and say, well done, friends, the road ahead, and bye-bye for now, till our paths cross again. So, and today it's so, it's today I really need to say till our paths cross again. Okay, so this is how it goes. And any questions on Gagne? Next steps. And then, okay, drawbacks. Before the drawbacks, let me. Does this look like a usable module? Sachin has raised a hand. Any questions before we go into TNA, which I didn't want to do very deeply because you already did, but maybe a few just strokes help. Sachin, tell me.
Yeah, so I was wondering as to how relevant Gagne's 9 event will be in the modern context where the learning environments are digital, self-directed, AI supported with the micro-learning context. Is it applicable in the modern environment or are there any drawbacks of it?
Okay, there are drawbacks, but it is pretty much holistic in the sense that this is what you would have done. I mean, you'll have to gain attention of people. People will not have the time to have previous recall. They just want to, I understand your point, get done with it. But then as a trainer or as a guy who's a learning practitioner, you'll have to ensure that there's a recall factor. That it is not one of the many courses I did. He will remember Sachin gave me a safety training. He showed me a video which saw a man hanging or something. And then I said, so a little recall, yes. Maybe the 9 steps can be compressed to 5. So that is, I leave it to your judgment. Overall, it's useful. I think Sonali has said it. But yes, and I'll see the drawback, Sachin, and then maybe we can have a deeper dive. I just failed to show that. But I found it useful that this is what we do. Now, maybe we don't start with a video. We start with again, the objective of the program today. Hello, gentlemen, ladies. So we don't start with that. I found with Gagne is good. He comes directly to the point. He evokes a reaction within the participants, either ghastly or good. Let's say you're giving on communication. So usually they'll give a bad communication. Why do they give a case study which is not good? Is because it raises immediate question. If it's a great feedback conversation happening and you are training on feedback, the guy will say, okay, it's a good example of feedback giving. But if you give a feedback, let's say I'm not listening to you, and we are talking about feedback. So the guy immediately says, like you could see, that safety procedures were not followed. The man fell into that compacting machine. So usually done with a little negative, and from there you can start and go to the positive. That is the name of the game. Give them a negative feel, and your training will make it positive. That now you're in hell, I'll take you to heaven. If let's say heaven is good and hell is bad, it could be the other way also. So a little bit, and let me see the drawback, Sachin, but good question. Do we have the luxury of 9 steps? I think we have the luxury of 4 steps. That you state objectives, give them an event, make them practice something, give them a feedback. Even if I have to cut out, sir, what can it be, what can be the different? Sachin, have I answered you?
Yeah, in a sense, but what I was wondering is as to if you look at the modern learning, it is and compare it with the Robert Gaine's model, it's seems too linear, right? Today we want, and in the other classes also we talked about that we want the learning to be more learner controlled. It's non-linear, it's multimodal, right? It has not a fixed path, right? It has got multi-paths. So in that sense, I was basically asking, and you are right that probably some of the steps can be used and some of them can be modified.
You're very right. It's not, it's very Western. They think 1, 2, 3, 4. Like for example, in teamwork, we follow Bruce Stuckman. Forming, storming, norming, performing. It doesn't happen that way in real life. The Chinese have a model of yin yang. They are who let's say we love, then we desist, then we again love. So in Indian or Oriental models, this may not fly. But yes, the broad picture would remain in the sense that he would have to give content. He will have to take back what is being taught and give them a gradation. So to that extent, Gagne is okay. I fully agree it's linear. And therefore, the devil lies in that we may not, all cultures may not be so linear. Sonali, I'm coming to your question a little later. Just a few, let me see your question. Just one sec, one chat. Sir, what can be the different ways we attention? Step 1, okay. I think it's good to, this is one way video. The other is, people learn, like we said, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Maybe give your own examples. Storytelling could be good, but a short story, okay? Today I'll tell you a story. If you say this, people will say, hey, we don't want to listen to stories. So maybe saying without, and I'll come to this. How can we attract attention? It's difficult. People take time. Okay, here is Sachin's answer. Limited flexibility, very rigid, from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. So it hinders. There's no space for creativity. It's passive and it's mostly guided, time consuming. Okay, this I think is the biggest problem in today's AI age. As Sachin has said, do we have the time for Robert Gagne's 9 step? I'm going to training needs analysis. Okay, before I go, let me give it open to the class. What are the other ways by which we can have attraction? Video, stating a fact, asking a question. Yeah, give them back. But then the class might be hijacked in the beginning. So you may not want to do a whole Zoom user. How do you differentiate Gagne with Addy? Do you think Gagne is correct? No, Addy is more. Gagne is here and now. For the class, ADDIE is more deep. ADDIE is there's a training needs analysis. Okay, ADDIE cannot be compared with Gagne. Gagne is for that session. ADDIE is for the whole, event called learning. ADDIE, SAM, Agile would be more comparable. Gagne is a very temporal model. What you do in an idle session. Okay, I'll come back to this. Maybe I didn't give a great answer. So training needs, okay, we do this, is not a great slide in the sense that boost smaller. Why do we do training needs? Okay, I'll come to one. Training needs can be understood from various things. You need not always go with a training needs survey and format. Many things will happen on your own. For example, you're losing business to the customer. So there's a need. You are having project overruns. You say that a project like metro project here. So it goes on and on because of many land grab. Somebody doesn't want to sell the house. So, the metro is hanging somewhere in between. So we have a place near Northeast Calcutta where it's still, we can't get through it. So project has overrun. So there may be a training need. Now everything cannot be solved by training. Like, morale is low. Now some people say, okay, give them training, their morale will be high. One guy told me, no, nothing but money will make me happy. So don't give me training. So, certain things cannot be done by training, but most of the things can be done. So if there's a large staff turnover, why are people leaving? Maybe they're getting more money there. Maybe here the bosses are horrible or the climate is bad. Strategy, for example, one company acquires, there will be a need. If there's a new AI, you have to learn Python or R, you have to learn Python. So new technologies would be the mother of all needs. So you always have to. So nobody will tell you that we have a training need. Because the moment he says he'll have to allot money, nobody wants to give money for training. Ductile iron, for example, in electro steel casting, they're going low on training. Training is always it happens during nice, good times. When there's money, people are happy. When the times are bad, you have to cut costs. First thing which will go is training. So it is a good time and a bad time. Now, 3 levels. I'm not laboring on this since you have already covered. One is the organization needs training. For example, IBM was not good at cloud. Once upon a time it was. Then it brought for $34 billion Red Hat. Pretty much Mulayam Singh Yadav's, party's symbol. So it acquired Red Hat, and Red Hat cost us a huge amount, but then we didn't have cloud. Red Hat had cloud. So that's an organization need which we couldn't make, so we bought. Occupational is, okay, linked to that competency, a business unit possibly. For example, many of the things, negotiation, maybe a need for many people. So if you cluster, it will be an occupational need. Finally, in your KRA or in your performance evaluation, your boss will say that he's good, but he lacks communication. He is good and he lacks motivation. So maybe like in that day, the training boss said that all of you have come to this training. So don't be defensive. Not that you are bad communicators, but we want you to go better. So he said that because people have askance that if I am sent for any training, am I necessarily bad? So you'll have to allay the fears that you are not bad, but you can always be better. Okay, I'm not going through this. Performance reviews, how does it happen? It happens like this, new employee onboarding, when to conduct, okay, when new employees come in, new technical job role changes, when people are going from one level to another. For example, supervisors are becoming officers. So in BHL, we always used to have a guy, his name was, I forget his PK Gupta. So that guy always used to go up a turbine and, come with a lot of dirt and muck and all. Sir, I have done a lot of work. Then one of the bosses said that Gupta ji, now you are an officer. You don't need to behave like a supervisor. So, people need to get into that bracket, if you know what I mean. So it always comes with a little pain, because you're becoming an officer, but your mentality is that of a supervisor. So maybe he's not a born officer. For periodic training reviews, employee feedback, plus people will say, I need this training. Sir, give me R&D training, give me strategy training, or madam, give us this training so you know. Okay, how to perform TNA? I'm not getting into this. They're data collection tools. go to your business. Usually a learning consultant does this. And as I said, the only thing business will say, he will not say or she will not say that I want communication training. He or she might say, can I move these people into this function? So, Ruchit, I'm coming to you. They'll come with a business question, which you will have to decipher as an HR solution. That is my only value add in this DNA. Rest all you know. Ruchira.
Sir, as you said, that suppose morale is down, so we don't need to give that morale training to that particular individual or a group of people, but somewhere we are getting the feedbacks now from the crowd. So this is what training need analysis now.
Absolutely, Ruchira. Sorry, I broke your heart. I was too tough. But some people might say, okay, morale is good, but we need, I'm giving you an example. In Tata Steel, when we were there, I had a colleague called Ranjit Ram. He's ISTD partner now, but he was a very good colleague. So one of our bosses always used to pat Mr. G. Prasad. Ranjit, you did a very good work. So one day he said, sir, and I'll again translate it in English. Sir, पीठ और मत दबदबाइए, पैसवा तो कुछ बढ़ा दीजिए. So, which he says that, okay, it's good to pat on the back, but can you give me more money? So I remember that because, that was very prophetic and I learned from life that, okay, morale, you can make a fun and we'll take them for a resort, give them high, but unless the salary component is increased, maybe the deep lying thing will not go. But I am right. I don't want to hurt your, very soft sentiments. Or will I not do morale? Yes, you should do, Ruchira. You should do morale, but maybe sometimes it needs a harder element. Morale building is soft stuff. How will you build morale? You will give them more responsibility. You will take them to a good place. You will have a, town hall, a good
No,
lunch.
no, sir. What I mean is, it's not that about only the morale. Just like you were giving example in your previous slide, individual need, organizational need, business need. So all this is coming from feedbacks now. Means how
All this
would we
comes from
know that there's a need of training?
true. So there'll be people who'll be listless. They're doing a tick in the box. So people will know. The bosses will say there's no passion in the job. Why is there no passion? There is no morale. So, it'll come out somewhere. It'll come from training needs. What I'm saying, the content of the program possibly could be soft and hard. Soft part is I do a morale building in a workshop. I make them feel happy. It's winter now. I take them for a picnic. I do a lot of integrative events, but at the end, it might also remain a fact that they are paid less. So you have to give that to compensation and benefit and HR, saying that I did all the right things possible. Yet, this is a suggestion from my end. Would you consider a revision of pay, which is a difficult task, but at least as an HR, do this. That is my only submission to you.
Okay, sir.
Lakshmi, you wanted. Thank you, Ruchira, for the deep
sir.
question. Very deep question. Plus, you're a soft person. Why is this guy only talking money, money? It's also about, the mind, the soul. There must be food for the soul and the mind. Lakshmi, you wanted to say something?
Yes, as you rightly said, sir, this so happened that with one of our clients, that is Glaxo. Glaxo has a very people-oriented policy. So they had a lot of leaves. Actually, they have almost 50 leaves, different types of leaves, 50 leaves in a year, and which lapses in the month of December. And naturally, people used to consume it, whatever is left, they used to consume. So they asked us to give a training, a one-day program, design it with the objective that people should not take leaves at the end of the year.
Right.
So the same thing happened, that can this be achieved by a training program? And we said that something has to be looked into the policies as well. Because if we have given them this as a right, maybe you can't say that you can't utilize in this month and that month, because this has something to do with the policy structure and not exactly with the training needs as well. I hope it is resonating with what we are trying.
It is resonating. You have made my life simple that everything, all panacea is not in training. Sometimes it's a policy matter. Thank you, Dhanlakshmi, for that very good, example. Better than that moral example which, broke Ruchira's heart. I will not give any examples, but I get, you have a soft heart. But Dhanlakshmi is true because many things cannot be done by training. And she said it's about policy. So maybe I'll stop because, you have already learned this. So one thing that we did in IBM was a fall plan. So fall is the time now, Hemonto, okay. When leaves are falling, usually a very beautiful time in US. So they used to look at skill gaps. I think I put in a plug areas. We used to have conversations. And now November 24th onwards, there's Thanksgiving. So US more or less becomes silent after this. It becomes cold. People take Christmas leaves. That is the leave they get. Unlike in India, when we have many, many leaves, they have Easter and they have Christmas. So Thanksgiving is on November 24th, which is coming. Today is 23. Okay, from tomorrow, US will be slightly silent. So we used to have this conversation during September, October. So many, many areas, it could be project management comes. This is pretty much, what we did in IBM. And we used to look into the industries where training is needed. So just timelines are drawn up. Process kicks off in September and ends before Thanksgiving. Usually it prolongs because one can never be complete. So maybe a little bit in January, and then the budgets are frozen and you say, yeah, you have to ask for money. Otherwise, nobody gives. Once budget is granted, you plan out. So I'm just giving, when I was a learning leader in India, South Asia, so I gave so much for, I am not getting into line items. New hire, $15,000. So I used to ask for more money and they used to give me less money. That's always, however, the job is. Training ROI, I'm not getting into it. Benefits of TNA, many. Targeted training, cost effectiveness, employee retention. Okay, so many good benefits. What else did I need to say? Okay, this was something which I wanted you to keep. I'll send this. So when you do a training needs analysis, this is the final outcome. How many people will be covered? What is the spend per person? Some departments are sparsely manned. Some have a lot of people. So you'll have to be, for example, this Elevate, BRI and Pinnacle. This was on ladies, building relationships and influence. Ladies who used to go to high band, they usually had a problem because men used to dominate. It's all over the world, not only India. So we did this program, BRI, with senior ladies. Okay. Okay. I think that was all I needed to say. Any questions before we go into quiz time? Was this good? I didn't touch upon TNA because but I thought that I'll tell you what are the obvious callouts in TNA. That you have to meet the person who has the budgets. You have to meet the person who will spell out what is the business problem. It is for the HR to really translate into a training. And as Dhanalakshmi said, not everything can be solved by training. Certain things needs a policy revisit. Any final questions on GAGNE, TNA before we do our final quiz? Okay, so if I hear that as a no, so let me start because you're ready with your, we'll do quiz. Highly competitive class. So quiz time. Where do I go? Let me go to this quiz. Okay, end of slide. Bando. Now I go to quiz. Where is the quiz? Quiz is simple. Sorry for delaying 2 or 3 minutes. I couldn't open up Gurvinder's, WhatsApp. So it took me a time. Then I put it on a mail. Then I clicked it in. Learning. Okay, this is instructional design. Let me open it up. Easy quiz. You will do it like knife through butter. Where is this quiz? Here is the quiz. Answer 1. Which of the following best replaces the cold philosophy of Addy?
B.
B.
B. Okay.
B.
B. Good. Next question.
Sir, unable to read that.
Yeah. There is
The
a first line
bar
is
on
hidden.
the question.
I'm
Something
putting that away. Now can you read?
No, sir.
No, sir,
No.
we are
Okay,
So
unable
there
to
is a
read.
bar appearing on the screen.
just a minute. Can you read now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
But then you can see the answer. Just a minute. Let me take this away. How do I? Yeah. Can you
No.
read now?
Sir,
No,
No.
still
still there,
there.
sir.
Still it is there.
Yeah,
Now
now we
it's
can.
fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Tell me.
A.
Design.
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 Oh,
Design is the right
development.
answer.
Design.
Design.
Yeah.
Thank you. You are amazing.
Same.
Sam and Addy, why are they different?
B.
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 Very good. B. Sam is iterative. Addy is more linear. Which is the following is the defining characteristic of Sam?
So there is another bar now at the top. We can't see the D.
So
Answer
that
A.
bar is now
Answer J.
below, like,
Bar has now gone below.
Answer J.
Process always begins. Okay. A. Any other answer?
Answer A.
Answer is A. Okay. Let me go to the next.
So the bar
Key
is
difference.
appearing.
Bar will go away. It has its.
No, we can't see the fourth option actually.
Where do I put the bar?
Answer will be B.
B, sir.
B.
B,
Answer
B,
will
sir.
be B. Values private
Yeah.
structure. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's simple. Sorry about that bar.
We
Oh,
have to raise our bar actually
No,
to
no, no, no,
answer
no,
the
no. I'll have
question.
to hide this bar.
To answer the question.
Hide names of visible.
The box which has come now.
Okay, this now you can see. Tell me, agile differs from Addy and Sam.
Answer B.
Continuous stakeholder involvement. Yes, agile is that you continuously do it. Very good. In agile, we use sprint. What is a sprint?
B.
B.
B. That's a simple
B.
answer. Which scenario best supports choosing Addy over Sam or agile?
A.
No.
B.
C.
Sir,
B.
C.
B. Sorry.
C.
Yeah.
C will
Ah,
be answer.
In
large
large
scale
scale
program.
programs, required. So
C.
Addy is more of a
C,
test
C.
plan. C.
C.
Good.
Sir, bar is there.
Bar will go. Agile and Sam, go bar, go,
Answer
go,
will
go,
be
go.
B. B.
B.
B. Bar.
Answer B.
Bar will go. Bar, ciao.
So you can read the question. It will be better.
Which of the following is most accurate when comparing Addy, Sam, and Agile instructional design approaches?
I think it's
Answer
It's
B.
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 Yes. Answer is B.
B.
B is also correct, but anyway, B should be correct because it. Oh, that's all. So what I'll do is I'll send you this. Answer is A. Design okay. I'll send you this slide and answer. 11:16. Time for me to say bye-bye to you. And it was so nice, speaking to you, reacting
Hi,
with all of
sir.
you.
For the nice
Thank
session,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you very
Sir,
much.
it was
Thank
very
you so
nice
much, sir.
session.
Sir,
Thank you.
hi,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Yeah, next.
Amazing way of doing these sessions. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir,
Thank you,
actually, we
Manaswari.
are learning from you simultaneously that how to make the
Yes.
entire session very interactive and how to take the in just 1 hour you are just managing things in a very smart way. So it's a wonderful session you're
Thank you,
giving.
Ruchira. You'll be better than me. Okay. All the
Thank
best to
you.
you.